My new thing fits in a clock, breaks in a car, pulls on my brain. Are you ready to see? This is my new thing. Are you ready to see? This thing is my new thing. Shyness will show, excitement will glow. I'm sharing this thing. That thing is my new thing.
Oh, wow. Folks, we're back with another edition of My New Thing. I'm Dan Wilbur.
I'm Zach Sims, and that's right. They can't kill us. No matter
They won't ever get to us.
No matter how hard they try, the deep podcast state will not bring us down. Theo Vaughn, other people, Segura.
I was about to ask who's in there. Yeah, Segura's team. He's got like a whole... basically, it looks like that movie War Games from the 80s. He's got like a whole crew. It's like they're launching a satellite, and they're all in there sending clips.
I haven't seen War Games as an adult. Should I?
It was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. I like that they're monsters.
Sure, it is nice. It is nice. Former friend of the show, he's not our friend anymore, Nick Maritato and I used to do a bit where it was like naming your guys. And all it was just going, Burr, Segura. That was really it. And I really like Bill Burr. But it was just,
I like it.
That's really all it was. Papa.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, Bill Burr, Segura, Matthew Broderick, and then you just start naming comedic actors.
That would be good. Phil Hartman.
Yeah. I
Rest in
loved,
peace.
Bruce Willis.
Sure.
Moonlighting Days.
Well, we call him
it up
Bruno.
all the time.
When he was at his funniest, was when he was Bruno.
He's really committed to that bit of wanting to play music.
Absolutely. He was in a commercial. That's one of those things that's not interesting that people love to say all the time.
Well, he was one of the guys who went to Japan and did a commercial, too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, I know he got his start. He was in like a Gene commercial. That was like how Courtney Cox was in Dancing in the Dark. That video. Which is just about wanting to fuck, I believe, right? Isn't that what that song's about?
Yeah.
Just being lonely.
And she does the goofiest dance.
Mm-hmm. And she won our hearts. The opening,
and you still feel it.
The opening lyrics to that song, I get up in the evening and I ain't got nothing to say. I come home in the morning, go to bed feeling the same way. I always felt, what a great analogy for stand-up comedy. Isn't that nice? Yeah.
Well, all I'm thinking about now is a 6-inch valley through the middle of my soul. Different song.
I thought that was just like a pickup line for a college kid.
I got a 6-inch valley through the middle of my soul. It sounds like that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. We're here to talk about what we're obsessed with, our new things, and my new thing, and it is kind of a new thing in a couple of ways, to be honest with you. But I went with my lady to the aquarium yesterday. We went to the aquarium like a couple of schoolboys. Or girls. I didn't mean to gender it, really.
Boys.
I didn't really mean to gender it. It's just what happened.
I wore really high socks
Absolutely.
and culottes. I wrapped them into my pants.
And threw stones at people. At least that's what I did in school.
I thought this was like an Irish schoolboy movie or
something. It was
something.
like that video game Bully. We did a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. What a game.
Never played it. But I will say, just for the record, went to Coney Island. That might be my new thing, is just going to Coney. I know I've never lived in South Brooklyn. This is like a new thing for me, and it's not that hard to get down there. You can be by the Freak Tent, which is not... The Freak Tent has lost a lot of the... Now it's just like, this guy's leg is longer than the other, because, you can't have real freaks anymore, Or like, this lady has a beard, but we're okay. We think it's good. And you can come by and tell her that it's a good thing. It doesn't. I was
trying this bit that my friend died in a freak accident. He swallowed a sword. Thank you.
That's fun.
No one liked it.
I don't know if I get it, but I
just freak accident.
I'm fucking
You're like,
with you.
a freak accident.
No, it's
okay,
fun.
good.
It's fun. I'm just fucking with you. We're just.
I love Coney Island any season, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Wintertime, go walk on the boardwalk in the winter.
Have a
it's
little
fine.
Honora. It's like a little Honora fantasy camp. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I got an Honora fantasy camp.
Absolutely. My man, you know what I'm talking about. But the aquarium, I hadn't been in a long time. It is very nice. I said this yesterday, but it's like the zoo without the guilt, as you don't have to feel bad about if the animals want to be there. They're too dumb to know where they are or what their name is. They're just running into the glass. And it was delightful. The only issue, too many kids. So this is my pitch. You have an adult night at the aquarium once a month. No kids allowed. And I'm not saying it turns into a sexy thing. I'm not
adult
saying
night at the aquarium is what Tom Cruise likes, is what I heard. He loves to fuck those fish.
I'm not saying that you're going to finger a manta ray, but, if they're interested, maybe that's what happens. Who knows? But it's just, there's wine, there's fish. Honestly, I think that's stuff that happens like at the Illuminati, or at least because they have always the supervillain always has a hell of an aquarium. That's one of the real benefits.
Oh, yeah.
About being a supervillain is just all the aquarium, all the nice exotic fish you can look at.
Yeah, I think it's a Dr. No thing. Now that I'm still on my 007 kick.
Absolutely,
is that he's the one that there really is like sharks with laser beams on their heads eventually. So
it sounds like you still haven't gotten past the first one. I'm on my 007 kick where I watched Dr. No.
That's it. Oh no, I watched the other ones. There's just nothing worth saying.
Dr. No is fun, and we can move to you on this. But Dr. No, I've only seen like the first 30 minutes of it or so, but it does feel like much more like a 60s like new wave kind of movie than the other James Bonds.
Well, I think we talked about this not on the podcast, but my favorite one so far that I've watched is I think it's not View to a Kill. It's it's Live and Let Die, which has the best song in it. And I believe Live and Let Die, the running theme is that and they didn't intentionally do it, but it is racist because the running theme is that all black people know each other and they're in like a secret, they have secret meetings, and it's like I feel like a lot of black comics used to have jokes about like, we're at the meetings and we decided we're all saying it this way now and you're racist if you don't do it. They literally, like, British people were like, people in Harlem, they all know each other. They're all in like a secret cabal, and you're like, no, we don't do this anymore. But it is really fun.
I feel like they should have known that was racist. I would say if they did not.
They knew, but they were British, and they were like, no one's gonna bother, no one's gonna care until a white guy in 2025 says it on his podcast and is saying, no, I'm not racist, and then it makes headlines, which is what's gonna happen here. Canceled.
I mean, who wouldn't love a headline? I will say. Just real quick, I once went on a date with a British woman, and I won't do the accent. Just 'cause I'm not good at accents, not for any other reason. But she was, we were talking about American Britain or whatever, and she was like, yeah, we don't really have racism in England. And then 5 seconds later, she was like, I mean, people really don't like Pakistanis. But it's like, well, I hate to break it to you. That is a race.
That's it. And also, maybe you don't have it internally, but the whole thing was sponsored by exporting racism, by controlling other countries. So
they also I watch the Premier League, and about once a week they have to stop a match because somebody's shouting racist shit from the stands. So it's like that lady was full of shit, and we're now married. So it's going very well.
Good.
Now, Dan,
your girlfriend doesn't know.
No, she's into it. She thinks it's cool. It's
green card marriage.
Absolutely, it's very bohemian. Now, Dan, what are you obsessed with?
You're going to love this. And by that, I mean you're going to scoff and be angry.
Oh, nice.
But our good friend Brian McGinnis, living down there in Raleigh.
I didn't know. I didn't know when I was supposed to scoff.
My new thing is I'm obsessed with this tall, bald man. He's married and in Raleigh. He told me, almost as a joke, like, hey, try this game. I really am enjoying it. It's called The Tiny Bookshop, and it is a video game where you play as a bookshop owner, a used bookstore in a seaside town that's attached to a car. It's like a little van, like a U-Haul thing that you cart around and you take it to different locales. And it's essentially the lemonade stand game that I used to play as a kid that forced you to become an entrepreneur, where you looked at the weather and you're like, oh, it's going to be 90 tomorrow. I better buy extra lemons. Yeah.
Sure.
You got to spend money to make money, baby. And it just made little hedge fund kids with this crappy graphics. Now it's this really nice, quaint game. And what's funny about it is, if you don't know, I work in a bookstore currently, so I took the game to the bookstore today to show them, hey, this is what a functioning bookstore looks like. You slobs! I'm not the manager. I'm the lowest person on the totem pole,
Sure.
so it doesn't actually matter. Is totem pole racist? Let's find out. Let's email a British person and ask them.
It's fine.
So, I'm the lowest rung of the ladder. I'm the lowest rung of publishing, really. And just when I thought I couldn't get any lower, there's the editor at Penguin Random House, then there's like a really great author who works with that editor, and then you go on down the list through agents, other authors, and then you get down to bookseller, and then there's one rung below it, and it's bookseller who plays video games about bookstores. And that's what I'm doing, and I can't stop. Really nice game. If I were actually funny, what I'd like to do is to go on a Twitch channel and play a game called Forklift Simulator and play it for 8 hours a day for a week and get up at 6 a.m. and drink a Monster energy drink. And then by the end of the day, I'm like smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer as I play Forklift Simulator for 8 full hours. And if I was a funny person, I'd do it.
Why would you have to? Oh, because you would say funny things.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say anything. I would act
if you were like
I'm
Andy
saying I would
Kaufman.
commit to the... Yes, if I committed to the bit and everyone started going... And they're like, the most popular stream right now is a silent man who looks miserable playing a game where he could have actually gotten that job. And that's how I feel playing the bookshop job. Is like, oh, I really could have not wasted 10 minutes of everyone's time today, but I had to show my manager and like 3 other booksellers how funny this game was.
I've never, I know people love that stuff. I've never understood that genre of, I think just as a sports game guy, I understand fantasizing that you have a great body and can hit dongers, but I've never.
Oh, you get to fantasize you have a great body in the bookstore game. No, the best part of the bookstore game, I will say, and you'd like this as a sports geek, if you like stats, etc., is that the books are real. So when you recommend a book, it's like Carrie by Stephen King, this date, here's what it's about. And when people, like the characters, ask for a hand sell, they're like, I like horror books, but I don't want anything from the 21st century. And you go, oh, well, this one was written in the 80s and you never read it. And you get to the joy of hand selling without having to go from college to retail work, which is deeply sad.
Sure. You get to
deeply
have
sad experience.
all the fun of being a guy with an MFA and a half-finished novel without having to do the writing. Which
Without
is nice.
having to do the half-ass writing.
Do you feel a satisfaction when you recommend?
Oh,
when they buy it?
absolutely.
Yeah, you do.
Well, it's the satisfaction is they come back and then they go, hey, you recommended that book to me, and now I love you. You need to
Let me smell your hair.
well, you better hurry up because I'm losing mine. So come and get it.
Well, you know who's got plenty of hair to smell is our guests tonight. I'm imagining you're listening to it at night with a bottle of Chianti. I've never seen. Is that Shawshank Redemption? No, Silence of the Lambs.
No, Silence of the Lambs.
But I hear he loves it with beans, and he's eating the liver. Anyway, today we got a great guest, Dan. Very excited for our guest, Shalewa Sharpe, one of the funniest comics out there. She goes into, I don't know, some fun. This is a person with some life history, and we learn a lot about her and her, I'm going to say, eccentric and intriguing musical taste. Is that comfortable at all, what you're doing?
It's not. You don't like it down for
Is that even remotely? I think the cushion is off.
was there on purpose.
Okay. Well, it's not there. Okay, it's fine. Yeah. No, that's fine.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's like we're at a sleepover.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what we want this podcast to feel like.
Yeah.
Like you can't leave without calling your mom. I'm calling my mom. I'm going home early. Did you have that kid?
I went to almost no sleepovers, but but yeah. We had I went to like one. It was me and these two, my friends Sean and Kyle were on the same baseball team.
Okay.
And Sean had a picture of a naked lady on a motorcycle.
Sure.
Nice.
And I was like 11 or 12, and he showed it to us, and it was, I think, the first naked woman I had ever seen in my life.
Right.
So I was like, in my head, just like, don't let them know that, I'm losing my mind.
Right.
And then later that night, I was on the floor, and then there were bunk beds, and Kyle said that he was masturbating.
He said it.
Yeah, he announced it.
Okay.
And I still don't. I think he was joking. I still think.
Okay.
I think he was doing a bit because he was a little quirky,
Right.
guy. But and then Sean just kind of went along, and once again, it was something I had never done. So I was just like, well, just pretend that this is normal. I guess
Right,
this is how
sure.
people interact.
Yeah.
But yeah. That was my and then I think I went to like church.
Sure.
Lock-ins.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah,
you went
yeah.
to church right
Right
after that
after.
masturbation.
Literally.
Yeah.
On the
Like,
way home.
I got to be cleansed.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? It's only just dawning on me that church lock-ins were, I guess, the sleepovers for kids whose parents wouldn't allow
Absolutely, yeah.
sleepovers.
Now, was it like
Oh.
after prom where they're trying to get you to not drink and
Well,
drive?
I did not go to prom.
Oh,
my
okay.
friend. I was. It was. No, it would be like laser tag. So like we go
Oh, that's
play
fun.
laser tag all night.
Okay.
So stuff like that.
Beautiful.
That was actually fun.
Oh.
And then not to monopolize, but one of these lock-ins, I had a baseball game, and it was early in the morning, and I forgot to wear a cup,
Oh, no.
which usually would be fine, but there was a wild pitch, and I was coming home to score the go-ahead run, big run. Catcher picked up the ball, turned around, whipped it to home plate. I had beat the pitcher there.
Right.
So he just hit me square in the testicles with this
Fantastic.
ball. And that's how I found out later that my dad only has one testicle.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it brought you together.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So my mom was like, well, make sure let us know if there's anything weird
happens.
down there.
Sure,
yeah,
because you come from.
Yes, come from a one-ball pregnancy. Yeah, absolutely. It's a little line from the act back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Happy to do it.
Man.
Now, I have a very important story to share with both of you
Great.
because of this. And
Great.
I know you're the guest, and we will eventually let you speak.
No, this is wonderful.
I as a joke, because I thought it was very important for me in Little League to be the funny guy, I was the catcher, and I just said, like, oh, I'm not wearing a cup when a ball, like a wild pitch, almost hit me in the balls. And I just never wore a cup. I was just saying it as a joke, because I thought we were all like, these people are pitching pretty slow. I'm not going to hurt my genitals in fifth grade.
Right.
And the ump was like, you got to get out of here. You're the catcher and you're not wearing a cup. And unfortunately, this baseball diamond was right next to the mall, the Westgate Mall in Fairview Park, Ohio. And my dad was like, let's just go get a cup right now. You can get back in the game. And he didn't explain how it worked. So I didn't know the cup like went into the jock and like buttoned.
Oh.
So I just put the jock over the so that the really rigid part of the cup was like against my thighs and like chafing it, and eventually the cup would like just slide down my pants, so it looked like I had this weird growth on my thigh, and I just never fixed that. Like no one told me how to do it. He just pulled it out of the box and was like, figure it out. And I just went out there with like a cup doing the opposite of what it should have done, which was not covering my genitals at all. And you know what? Good for me.
Y'all would have been completely useless when it came time for maxi pads.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just stuck to your
You
forehead.
put this in
Still
your
now.
butt.
I'd be looseless now. Yeah, they don't tell boys how to do any of that stuff.
No.
I mean, I don't know if that goes. I feel like girls maybe there's a little bit more.
No, I mean, I think it truly depends on the parent. I
Sure.
happen to have a mother who was raring to tell us all of the things. So, we had like these books on where babies came from. We had them much earlier than I discovered my friends did. My mother found one that had like these lovely watercolor paintings of, naked people. And then the baby, and then the woman giving birth, and all of that stuff, but in watercolor. So it wasn't as terrifying.
Little Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, but it was, in my room, and I remember having friends over, and by friends I just mean whatever kids are in the like apartment complex.
Sure, sure.
Because I'm straight up latchkey, no parental, until like 6:30.
Yeah.
And kids were like, "What is this?" and just were laughing and like freaked out. And I'm just like, "It's just where babies come from. What's wrong with you, you heathens? Why don't you know this?"
It's beautiful.
And so then there were, I guess, they took their findings home to their parents, and then there was a whole thing of just like, why don't you have anyone coming over to hang out with you? And I'm like, well, I guess your little watercolor book spooked them. They were not ready for the truth.
They couldn't handle it.
You're from here.
I'm from, well, I was born in Brooklyn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then my family moved to Atlanta when I was like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Right when the Atlanta child murders were happening.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We were
I've seen
like, I mean,
Mindhunter.
it's better than Flatbush. So, so we went, because my dad was from Bed-Stuy. My mother was from, like, Middle Georgia. And so my mom was like, I'd like them to see a tree. I'd like my kids to see a tree.
Sure.
So we went there, and that's kind of where I've been until I moved back here to do comedy.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always have because I'm from New Orleans, and I grew up, still a big Saints fan, but grew up in that huge Saints, and obviously the Saints and Falcons. have
Sure.
Very intense rivalry.
Right.
So I had always grew up with such a dislike for Atlanta that it took me until maybe about 30 to be like, oh, I guess it is a cool place. There's stuff going on there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, because, you know, football is very important in how you judge anyone in your life.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I could see where you would just be like, boo, and then you get there and you're like, I mean, I'm having fun, but boo still.
Yeah, turns out there's some culture there, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Now, growing up in Flatbush / Atlanta, were you a child of obsessions? Were you somebody who were intrigued by such things?
Yeah. Yes, I am. I like being obsessed with different artists. Usually it's musicians. Usually musicians. But I also am like discerning in that I will be obsessed with you, but if you do a project I don't like, I just will ignore that project.
And you're like, that's not canon?
Yeah, I'm like, that doesn't
apply to you.
I know, nah, I'm not down with that. Which means there are people that I truly love, and then there are chunks of what they do that I'm like, yeah, I listened to it once and I didn't care for it.
You're not an Andre 3000 flute.
Oh no, no, I like the flute.
All right,
Here's what I like about the flute. Yeah, of course he's gonna walk around. You know what I mean? Like he's just, of course he's gonna walk around playing a flute. There's a certain kind of dude that Andre is, and that Big Boy is. Let's not forget, Big Boy's been raising owls in his house for like a strong 7 years. He's been messing with owls, and they're all named like Hootie Hoo, all of them. Sure. And so, like, I know Andre seems weird, but that's because he's outwardly weird. Like, I've seen them both in the club, and Andre definitely wore like football shoulder pads, like,
oh wow,
like out and about for sure. But Big Boy's weird as well. But his was just quiet because he always had on like Braves gear.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But he also said owls. So, you know, it's like, yeah, there are just a couple of weirdos. And I love the weirdo aspect for it. So, yeah, I'm totally fine with the flute.
Okay, so what were the younger ones? I didn't mean to derail.
No, I was a big, I was a big Culture Club person.
Okay.
I loved Culture Club. I loved Boy George. Because I didn't really know what was going on there. What is
Sure.
this?
Sure.
That wasn't in the watercolors.
Yeah, like what's
guy's
happening here? And actually, Culture Club won a Grammy for Best New Artist, and I'm watching the Grammys with my parents. And in the acceptance speech, Boy George said, "Thank you, America. You know a good drag queen when you see one." And my parents cracked up, and I was like, "Huh." What's a drag queen? And then my parents were like, all right, well, a drag queen is, you know. And
good for them.
Yeah, so they explained that to me, and I went, okay, great. I was big on Culture Club. I was big on Cyndi Lauper.
Okay. Right? Yeah, sure.
Like, at a certain point in, like, 7th grade, if you were 12 in 84 or something like that, you had to put money down. You had to make your decision. Are you Cyndi Lauper? Are you Madonna?
Right.
You had to do that. In the same way that, like, there's always some girl in high school where it's like, are you Marilyn Monroe or are you Betty Page? You know what I mean? You got to make these...
My Barbara Stanwyck.
See, exactly. So I had to make that decision, and I was a Cyndi Lauper person, with like a Madonna Rising, I guess. But I also was really into Van Halen.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yes, but that's one of those where, like, I'll give you a little Sammy Hagar, up through a little Sammy Hagar, but then after, I'm like, I'm not going on past that.
They're done with you.
I'm pretty much just David Lee Roth, but like in there strong. I had a poster on my wall of David Lee Roth, like coming out of a pool.
Oh,
And, you know, just like hair with ribbons, the whole thing, just like this sexy David Lee Roth poster. And I went away for a summer. I think I must have come back up to New York for a summer. My mother would do that with us. Just get out of here.
Sure.
And when I came home, the poster was gone. And my mother said, well, I was cleaning your room and it accidentally tore.
Oh, come
And my dad said, yeah, it accidentally tore from corner to corner. And I was like, okay, I see what happened.
Did she think it was too sexy, or she just didn't like David, or?
It was too white.
Yeah, that's sure.
It was too white.
Yeah,
Because
interesting.
I was raised, like, when I was a kid in Brooklyn, we went to a Pan-African private school.
Oh, shit.
Where instead of saying the normal Pledge of Allegiance to America, we said we had a whole thing to the Pan-African flag, and a song which included the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. We sang that every day.
Oh my God.
We spoke Swahili.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my parents moved us to Stone Mountain, Georgia, which is a big granite hill with Confederate Army.
Is that like a suburb of Atlanta kind of situation?
Yeah, but like it's a huge park and people come to celebrate the Confederacy or something. I don't know. And that's where they moved us. Like, all right, we trained you, go.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So,
Is that school still around?
What? No, it's not. And I was like, did I make this up in a fever dream?
Right.
But I once heard MC Light rapping about a school that she went to as a kid, and she said the name of the school, and I went, okay, that's legit. All right, I didn't make.
I was
that
just
up.
nervous because in the times that we're in, you know, you say that and they're like, oh, they're going to shut that down. They're going to hear it on this
I know.
podcast.
I'm surprised. Like in the late '70s, my parents were like, "Oh yeah, no, you kids used to go to the protests. You would be there in your uniforms,
Nice.
or you would stand there quietly and have your fist up at
love
all
that.
these protests on Wall Street." And I was like that. Those were our field trips. We're just protests. Cool.
That is very badass
Yeah.
compared to me listening to that little boy masturbate.
I don't know. I mean, my kingdom for just hearing somebody masturbate was a lot simpler. It feels like than really. I mean, like. Race is race, but let's learn more about our bodies.
That's fair.
Well,
That's
it's funny
fair.
to think about you living in a house where it's like, oh, that's too white. Where I lived in Cleveland, Ohio. Sad to say, like the 4th most segregated city,
Right.
and like they ended busing or whatever.
Right.
Like they completely decided like that side
Right,
black,
yeah.
this side white, and we were just so into hip hop. And my parents were just sort of like, just let them have it. Don't
Right,
like
yeah.
raise it. Like I remember I only got in trouble once, and it was for blaring "Why Don't We Get Drunk and Screw" by the late Jimmy Buffett. So they were like, that's not okay. But if I blasted Snoop, they were like, I'm just not going to touch this. We're just going to let him.
I won't even pay attention. Yeah, at a certain point, very deep into my Duran Duran years, I guess my dad had a talk with my mom and was just like, just let it go. Like she can't. At no point will she think she's white. She has a mirror. We've given her tools. She knows what's up. But just let her listen to this.
Sure.
I just like it as an act of defiance.
Yeah, like what else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
So I was like, fantastic, and then I went whole hog. Let's just. Duran Duran doesn't bother you? How do we feel about Depeche Mode? We don't even know what they're into. How about The Cure? That guy wears messed up lipstick and Jordans. Like, what's happening here? You know?
My favorite thing about Depeche Mode is that one of these Nazi idiots said, our band is Depeche Mode, and Depeche Mode came out and was like, fuck you. I will fucking kill you.
There you go.
I'll punch you myself. And I love them so much because they were like, they were going to get co-opted by this alt-right idiocy. And they were like, no,
What
we
a
would never,
mess.
ever participate in that.
Now, I'm just curious, were you into comedy stuff at that point as well, or no?
Not okay. So what I would do is stay up as late as possible to watch music videos on TV shows because we didn't have MTV, or watch people perform on late night shows.
Yeah, sure.
Which means just accidentally I caught a lot of comedy.
Right.
But I didn't so I was very music minded, and then comedy was a close second. But I didn't do comedy albums or anything like that. So I basically was whoever was new and on television. I was like, I guess this is my guy.
Sure.
So you know what I mean? So I'm like, I guess I'm a Judy Tenuta,
Sure.
Emo Phillips person or whatever. Oh, who do you like, Shalewa? I like Jake Johansson. You know, whoever
Sure.
was like on these shows.
Absolutely, yeah.
Whitney Brown. And my parents were like, okay, this isn't even, I don't even understand what this part is. But it wasn't until I was 15 and I was like, oh, you know what? I think I want to do stand-up comedy.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and that's because Ellen DeGeneres had a special that she put out around that time. And in that special, she had a Fido Dido shirt, and I had the same T-shirt.
Oh.
She had a blazer over it, of course.
You were like, finally, someone's
And I was
representing
like,
me.
there we go. I see myself. I didn't see myself in any of this other stuff, but
Sure.
this I could do. I got the shirt. I'm halfway there. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't start comedy till I was like 38.
Well, sure. It comes,
Wow.
yeah.
What was that transition? Just years of
It
doing a
was-
bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, I just was like, oh, I guess I just need to work to pay bills because
right.
my
Sure.
only dream was to live alone in a 1-bedroom apartment. So I,
Hell yeah.
yeah. So I was just like, all right, I guess I drop out of college because I don't like this. And I just, you do a 2-year bid at the Gap, like every child of the '90s.
Sure.
And I worked at independent record store for a number of years. Worked at an adult video store for a number of years. Worked at a bookstore. Any media that's no longer around, I sold it.
Oh, you know what's funny now is I work in a bookstore. Everyone's just buying porn. Like women just
That's
out
true.
there. We're
Crazy.
across
Yeah.
from the ripped bodice here. So it's all merged into one kind of store.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. So that's it. It's all just one type of media. Yeah, but I didn't. It's a little morbid how I started, but my mother had a stroke that paralyzed her when she was like 46. And so, her mom had like 2 strokes. So I was like, all right, well, if I do the math, I'm due for one at like 41.
Right.
So let me go ahead and at least try stand up once.
Yeah.
So I can say that I did it before my stroke comes.
Sure. It's a good motivator.
Let's just clear off the list before I have to relearn how to talk. And then as I was doing it, my soul flew up to the top of the room where I watched myself doing comedy, and then I was annoyed. Like in the middle of the set, I was annoyed because I was like, "Oh shit! Now I have to rearrange my entire life
Yeah,
to
sure.
do this
Absolutely.
like forever."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm up there telling jokes, but in the back of my head, I'm just like, "All right, well, fuck. How do I even? What's next? Like other open mics? Like what do I do here?"
Now, where was that?
That was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, at the Star Bar.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
that's a good place.
I've-
No,
I've
yeah,
done the
that's
Star Bar, yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if you were like at the Creek,
Oh,
and you're like, I had a
Lord.
transcendent experience.
No, I
performing
would have absolutely. My soul would have slipped on some beer somewhere. Flew it up to the top of the room.
Star Bar's a great room.
Yeah,
that is a great room.
Yeah.
But now, so you're here to talk today.
Yes.
I'm fascinated. Dan is fascinated by this. I'm fascinated.
Well,
by
now I
this.
have a little more background. This
Sure.
is- I feel like this is perfect.
Your current obsession, Andrew Bird.
Andrew Bird. Okay.
The Whistler in Chief.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, okay. So so here's what happens. In the 90s, right, there was and we don't speak enough about it, but we need to take ownership of this moment in time. The swing revival.
Oh, sure.
Got to start there.
Sure,
You have to start. Unfortunately, you have to start there.
Yeah.
I love the movie Swingers.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
of course.
It holds
Big
up
Bad
well.
Voodoo Daddy's in there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I enjoy the music that everyone was like reviving. I already enjoyed that. Like
Do you
older.
feel just in from New Orleans? I love a horn. Do you
Okay.
feel that?
You know what
connection
it
as well?
was? It wasn't necessarily the horn. I think it was just like the tempo is catchy.
Okay.
And the songs are kind of simple in that it's just, I guess, like a version of like a 12-bar blues kind of. It's just very simple, and I like a simple poppy song.
Yeah,
and the spirit is just like, very up, and I am not up, so I need that in my life. So I mean, like, even when I was working at the Gap, it was the time when the Gap had those khaki commercials, like Khakis Rock. And khakis, and there was khaki swing, and there are the kids in the khakis, and they're dancing to like Brian Setzer doing jump, jive, and wail, like this kind of thing. And so I was also working at this independent record store, and so we're selling this stuff to whoever is into it. And there's one day where someone comes in and they're like, "Where's your swing section?" And my boss is like, "Oh, you know what? We got some new stuff over there. Shalewa, show him. We got this new guy." And he pulls out like a CD, and it's Andrew Bird. And I recognize the name Andrew Bird because I'm a big liner notes person. And this was a name I read in the liner notes in the Squirrel Nut Zippers CDs, which I went back and listened to not that long ago. All of it still holds up.
All right.
Not zippers. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, yeah, you do. You do. If you remember the song Hell.
Is that the name of the song?
Yeah.
I
In the
don't.
afterlife, you could be headed for serious strife. Now you make the scene all day, but tomorrow there'll be hell to pay.
No, I'm not cool enough.
Oh, actually, maybe the
know
hell
this.
to pay at least.
Hell to pay.
Kinda
Yeah.
connected
And
with me.
when you hear it, it's just like a like just that kind of song. I love the Squirrel Nut Zippers, and I read liner notes, and there was just the name Andrew Bird violin was someone who played violin on it. And so I was like, oh, this dude is on the Squirrel Nut Zippers records. He has a thing. And the person asking for swing stuff ended up walking out with something else. So I listened to the Andrew Bird record, and I was like, okay, first, this is not swing at all. This is a lot jazzier than that.
Yeah.
And it was Andrew Bird's Bowl of Fire. So it was his own band. And I was like, oh, this actually is much more depressing sounding than what swing is. Thank you. This is right up my alley. I'll take this. And so I was obsessed with the Andrew Bird's Bowl of Fire. They put out like 3 albums. And the first 2 were very like, I guess they call it like hot jazz or like older, like Eastern European kind of throw a little klezmer in there, like just that kind of music from some guys from Chicago.
Okay.
And I was just like, all right, I like this a lot. It's a lot jazzier and whatnot. And then the 3rd album came out, and it wasn't like that at all. There was some blues, but there was some rock and some ballads. It was kind of all over the place, but still felt cohesive, which is my favorite thing, is one person doing an album that seems all over the place, but it still makes sense to them. And I was just like, yo, it's one of my favorite albums, full stop, ever, is the 3rd Andrew Bird's Bowl of Fire album called The Swimming Hour. And and he would tour a lot. So I would see him when he would come through Atlanta, and I saw him quite a few times. And one time he was touring, and it was a while after that 3rd album came out, and it was just him and one other person. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, y'all used to be a band.
Yeah.
Something happened to you.
Yeah, what happened? And it was kind of an odd set in that he was doing kind of old songs, but they were reworked because it's just him, and because it's just him and it's in some place, people are like talking over him. So he's whistling in order to shut him up. So he would he'd have like a whistling solo, and everyone's like, "Who the fuck is whistling like that?" And then then everyone would pay attention, and then he just seemed on stage. He seemed unsure as to what he was doing there and what he was performing, and like. It's one of the few times that I felt like I could feel the artist like, I mean, I'm going to do this, but I kind of don't know what's next for me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, oh, this is kind of fascinating to watch.
What was the other band member doing?
I think he had the dude on drums.
Oh, okay, because it would have been funny if he was like a hype man.
That whistle, dude. I think it's time to whistle. So, and that was the other thing. He didn't have anyone like singing backup behind him, and just a guy with some brushes on the drum, and everything was toned down. He did some newer stuff, and it all sounded much different than what he had done before. And I was like, oh, I wonder what he's going to do. And he just kept kind of putting out little singles of weird music scapes, and then put out an album that was like not at all like what he had done before. It was just him. And when I first listened to it, I was like, well, I don't know what this is, buddy. Like, what is happening? So I didn't listen to it much, but I still continued to see him live. Because he was so good live, and I was just like, I don't know what we're doing here, but I'm still invested in you. And then it started to kind of coalesce into like a particular sound that he's really like honed in on. But like I've basically been watching him go from just like some squirt in a suit that's too big and his violin playing hot jazz to like doing this kind of Baroque pop type thing.
This is incredible. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a beautiful journey.
I'm coming to Andrew Bird backwards, and I think of him as Americana folk music.
Right, yeah.
That if you've ever heard his recent, that the one I started with is like extremely recent, which is, it has a picture of him doing Marat dead in his bathtub.
The The Are You Serious or something like that?
Sisyphus. It kicks off with Sisyphus.
Let me tell you something. There's a certain word, I think it's in that Sisyphus song, that he loves. He uses like the wildest big words all the time and has since the Bowl of Fire. And I'm like, buddy, if someone made a bet with you, like write 3 songs, but you can't use these ridiculous words, he'd be out. He'd be out before the... Yeah.
Start doing stand-up. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of an example in my life right now of someone that I was there from the beginning, because it sounds like that's where you were. Like, you were, if you're starting at liner notes to get into like, I see this guy live every time, it's like, and you're not his mom?
Right, exactly.
It sounds like you heard the first whistle too. Potentially the birth of the whistle.
The beginning of
because I know the whistling.
Whistles.
That's really all I know about him is the whistling.
So it's kind of interesting, and so now he's just doing these things that are very like he has a standing every year. I think he does like a week residency in a church in downtown Chicago.
Oh, that's cool.
Where he does whatever songs, and it's a very small, him and maybe like a bass player or maybe a drummer, just a small kind of thing. And he's there for a week. And I finally went last year, just literally flew to Chicago the day of, got ramen, went to the show, went back to the airport, and just waited for the first flight back to New York.
Hell yeah.
And I'm doing that again soon, because he is the album that I didn't quite get, The Mysterious Production of Eggs, I think is what it's called. I love it. I have a thing where if I don't get it, I step away and I check in every year to see if I get it.
Yeah, sure.
And probably like 4 years later, I was like, oh, I think I get it now.
Yeah.
I
And
have to do that. You're describing what I, as an older man now, have to do with every pop song.
yeah.
I hear it for the first time, and I'm like, good God, this is what
Yes.
kids like? And then 2 years later, I'm like, that is pretty good.
Yeah, it usually takes like, for pop songs, it takes like 3 years. I think it took me 3 to 4 years before I was like, T-Pain's aight. And
I was thinking of Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball.
Oh, really?
that how
I was like, I don't like this. And now I hear it, and I'm like, my God.
You love it.
What a gem.
you know what there are
Magnificent.
not too many people that I hate.
Sure.
I do hate Miley Cyrus. I will go on record. She just gives me brat. And
Yes.
not
Yeah.
like in that
Sure.
fun
Charlie,
Charlie,
yeah, sure.
but
Right.
in like a full on, like, you are not fun to be around.
Yeah.
Yes.
That said, I will still rep for Party in the USA. Even if I
Yep.
truly hate your guts and every time I say I want to punch you, if you have one song that I like, I'll
good
be
tune.
like, all right, that's a good song. I'll give you that
Good
song.
song. How do you feel about Billy Ray,
Wait.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
the dad,
Oh,
the old man?
You know what? He gave us that one song.
Sure. Yeah.
And that was fine.
Yeah,
Wait,
sure.
was he Boots Scootin' Booty? Which one was he? He was Boots
He's,
Scootin'
or
Booty,
is
right?
he Achy Breaky Heart? Or
Oh,
is
he was Achy
is he
Breaky Heart.
Okay,
Yes, yes,
okay,
yes.
Okay.
That's enough.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you truly, in country at that time, you really did just.
Oh
kinda
my
just
God!
need
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and the simplest shit in the world. too.
Yeah. It's still
Mm-hmm.
for the men folk. It's definitely if you got an achy breaky something, anything simple with you and a dog and a truck, you good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll ride for a while. Muddin', I think they're big on muddin'. I'm not a country person. This is an aside. I'm not really
Sure.
too much of a country music person, but I think we can all agree it changed when they switched from cowboy hats to baseball hats.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think.
And now
it became
they're
more
all doing
political
that.
almost. Yeah.
Now it's a red hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Now it's-
absolutely.
Yeah, it absolutely.
Absolutely.
Once they started with the baseball caps, I was like, I don't even know you anymore.
When my dad was getting remarried, so he remarried a woman who is from outside of. So we're from New Orleans, and she's from outside of. So the rest of Louisiana.
Okay.
And yeah,
The rest
which is
of-
kind of how we look at it, I
Right,
think. Yeah,
sure.
which is why they love us so much. But I have one of my good buddies is like from Lafayette, and I know he kind of resents New Orleans. And it's like I
Sure.
get it, I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, right.
Yeah. But he anyway. I just remember he would do this thing where we would be in the car and he would make us listen to country music for like 20 seconds at a time just to acclimate to this new life we were going into because they liked country music.
That's so
yes.
funny.
Yeah. So it'd be like just a little bit of like Tim McGraw or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'd go back to like Led Zeppelin. It wasn't like we're listening to the coolest stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, but you kind of have to do that. I think you do have to. I mean, I have country artists that I enjoy. Like I will kill you over country Katie Lang.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
not familiar,
I
but
absolutely-
yeah.
I love Katie Lang when she was doing country a lot. I asked for her cassette for Christmas. I was always asking my parents for like music, and I tried to be as detailed as possible.
Right.
Because I didn't want them to bring home the wrong thing, and now I got to listen to this crap. you know. And they also were like, well, our child seems to be very particular about what it is she wants.
Yeah, sure.
And there was a particular Katie Lang record that I wanted, which they didn't see, but they saw another one that was like a close up of her face. And my dad was like, well, the name is right, but is this the person? Shalewa says it's some woman who sings country, but this looks like a man.
It's a young fella.
Right, and my mother was like, "Hey, man, remember Boy George? That's probably the right person."
It's a different time. It's a different time, you know? Yeah, absolutely.
I would always ask my parents and grandparents for something really specific and then forget that I had done it and then be shocked. that
Oh,
they
you're so
figured it out.
touched.
I was so touched
Yeah.
that they figured out. They're like, I did want Sonic and Knuckles for Sega. And I would just I'd be like, how did my grandparents know? They must be reading all the game blogs. There were no game blogs. They must be reading GamePro magazine.
Right.
So this is a question we always ask on the pod when we almost sort of got there, but are there any tips for getting into Andrew Bird specifically, or how would somebody get in on the ground floor the way you did?
Okay.
For a musician, do I need to get a record out and look at every musician that's on the list?
I mean, you have to, if you are being obsessive, you're already kind of, you want to know everything there is to know about that work.
Yes.
So you are like looking at liner notes, whatever, or I guess at this point now it's Wikipedia things.
Sure.
And you are just kind of hitting blue links until you find out enough
hoping
about
that
it.
you don't see controversy on any of the drop
Right, yeah,
hoping you don't see cancellation and
right,
life
because
after.
with regard to music, I don't know if anyone is really like, I don't know what the state of independent record stores are, places with used CDs, but I used to like keep track of things by record labels.
Right.
So if I liked a thing, I looked at that label and tried to listen to anything else on that label, or just trying to make those kinds of connections is usually
You're
and
like
so
a
you can
dream
start-
fan for
Yeah.
the music industry.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone being like, I like to go, because I do that with publishers actually.
Right,
Is that-
yeah.
I love FSG, which is a specific, subset, like an
Right.
imprint, and I'm like, everything that FSG puts out is good, and then I have it in the back of my head.
You do some of that. When I was a kid, my mom had me in some book club and I would get books, and the ones that I enjoyed, I would put on my bookshelf in a certain way, and then I would organize based on whatever the little letters were at the bottom.
Yep.
And I realized later that's
the publisher,
yeah. So that's kind of, you just like kind of soak that in. And you ask questions. A lot of this is because I started listening to a college radio station when I was like in 7th grade.
Right.
And it was Georgia State University, and they were like the first one to have like 10,000 watts so that you could hear them much further than just like across the street from the building. And I would call, if I heard something, I would call up there and go, hey, what was that you just played?
Right.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, and if I was at a club and the DJ played something that I had not heard or I would go to the DJ booth. I'm like, hey, what was that you just played? I had a
Human
party once.
Shazam.
Yeah.
that's
I
how we-
literally was just like, what is that? I had a party once at a club. When I turned 30, I married my vibrator. It was a whole thing. But I had, so a couple of DJ friends came out.
Was this a literal party when you married your vibrator?
Yeah, I married my vibrator.
This is pre-comedy.
Pre-comedy, yeah, right.
Pre-comedy.
Yeah.
My parents came. My dad gave me away. I had a wedding dress.
Oh,
I
good for
registered
you.
at Target. It was
That's
a whole
awesome.
thing. It was a whole stupid thing. And so I had a couple of DJ friends who volunteered their time and talents to DJ the reception, as it were, at this club. And later, one of them was like, hey, I played a couple things, and your dad came up and was like, hey, what was that you just played? And he's like, and I was like, you're Shalewa's dad, aren't you? Like, oh, okay. So, like, I came by it honest, but you do kind of have to do a little bit of that research, and then you'll kind of just follow whatever. To Andrew Bird in particular, if you haven't heard any of the Bowl of Fire stuff, I would say start with the Swimming Hour, because it is the closest to the kind of stuff that he is doing now and has done and has evolved from. It's the closest to that than to the hot jazz stuff that he was doing. So even like the records that he's, I feel like he did one that was just kind of like bluegrassy sounding. You can get elements of that from the Swimming Hour, and you can like kind of make the connections if you kind of want to figure out where to start. I would say the Swimming Hour for Bowl of Fire, and then the Mysterious Production of Eggs. Also, you can see kind of where it goes from there.
Great titles.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to do a
He
title.
seems like a really smart dude.
Yeah, he
He
does.
seems like a big reader, which usually doesn't help you do anything.
No.
Is
No.
what I've found in my personal experience.
Same here. I like to take in a lot of stuff, but output, shaky. Output is shaky.
Now, is there anyone new you like? Newly obsessed, newly music-wise, or anything
Oh,
new that you're
wow.
obsessed with?
Newly obsessed.
I know you told us that obsessions are a male commodity. I think that was before we were on the pod. but-
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Right now, I am trying to find a cute actor who's kind of new to our world so that I can follow, and then get into movies.
Have you
Yeah.
considered
Oh, yeah.
Timothy Chalamet?
No, it could be the kid that's on the oh my God, I wish I could pull his name. He was on Curb as a doctor's son, and he's in Righteous Gemstones as the like problem child in the first season.
Yeah,
and he's got a nice haircut and some nice freckles, and he's cute. Everything he's in, he has like great taste, and I have followed him, even though I can't pull his name.
Wait, is he in the Superman movie?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen.
I haven't seen the Superman movie. He was in Licorice Pizza for a
He
little
is in
bit.
Licorice
Oh,
Pizza.
is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wait. I
but
think it is the same.
It might be,
the other
yeah.
child actor.
Yeah, not Phil
He's a big,
Hoffman's kid.
yeah, he's just sort of popping up in all these.
Okay.
As a character actor, but he looks sort of cute.
Is
And
it
so-
like cute in like an 80s way?
Yes.
He does have an
Exactly.
80s,
80s
gleam
look.
to him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I know exactly. Yeah, I know who you're talking
That's
about.
what I want to do. Is that we'll all be watching and IMDb him later. But I'm obsessed just ever since you said it on our show.
Oh.
It like broke something in my brain.
Oh, cool.
That you were like you're on this trip. I think. You were on like a cruise and you decided to watch network TV.
Oh, yes.
And you described network television as cops eating dinner together. And now I can't like it broke a spell in me. That I was like, this is just doctors having dinner.
Yeah.
This is just firemen having dinner.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, they're just dating each other. It's a soap opera. And now I'm like, oh, I can watch good TV again. That was saved me.
Yeah. I have this. I don't know if it's helpful, but this thing of like watching something and then like trying to boil it down to its essence. And I think I almost burn the pan almost every time. I reduce it too much. But yeah, I definitely with that I was just like, okay, so they're just going to sit around and eat dinner and like yell at each other. And every time, and whenever I talk to people who are talking about movies that are very just like, and then there's this or prestige TV, the blah, blah, and I'm like, oh, so you mean the blah, 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 blah. And I say it in like these soap opera terms. And they're like, well, I mean, I guess. I didn't start watching Mad Men until like season 3.
Yeah.
And then people were like, well, how are you going to even know? Like, there's a whole thing with Peggy. And I was like, what? Did she like get pregnant by him and then like get rid of the baby? And they were like, my God. And I'm like, that's always the issue.
Yeah.
It's always
Yeah,
the
yeah,
issue.
yeah.
You guys got to watch more Young
You
and
gotta
Restless.
watch the weirder soaps where like the devil comes
Right,
out of
yeah. Like, talk to me when
hole.
there are evil twins. But if it's just a regular old baby, no baby anymore problems,
Baby, no baby. It's just what an easy problem to solve.
I mean, on soap operas, they literally were throwing each other downstairs to lose or riding horses. So if she just decided to have an abortion, I mean,
Right.
I guess.
Passions was a soap opera.
Oh, that one was insane.
And I started to watch as a teen because I thought in my mind, because of the title,
Right.
it was going to be horny.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is great. But there's like a little devil in that, right? Isn't
yeah,
there
there's
something?
a lot of devils.
And you
Yeah,
invited
yeah.
your 3 friends over. We're gonna masturbate
Come on,
to this.
Kyle. Now I've seen the naked lady.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, there was definitely a lot of witchery happening in that one.
But Mad Men is just a soap opera. I mean, it's like
absolutely.
my
It is.
favorite
It
show.
absolutely.
But yeah.
It's a beautifully shot soap opera.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get into the later seasons, it does feel like you're at work.
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe I just watched them all at once.
Okay,
too fast.
sure.
But I was like, I feel like I'm in an office.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, they
need
did
this.
kind of nail that towards the end.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, Shalewa, where can the people at home, my mother,
Oh, sure.
and hundreds of others,
Okay.
find you on your social media? and whatnot?
I'm on pretty much all of the social media, and the name is at Silky Jumbo. All one word, traditional spelling. And even on TikTok, which I am not on, but I have one. I actually have 2 because I had the traditional spelling one and I forgot that password.
Sure.
So then I had Silky Jumbo with a 0 at the end. But if you go to the one with an O at the end, it goes, hey, look over at the one with the 0 at the end. And then you go there and it's like, I never post.
Trick.
So, but you're here. I got your eyes anyway. And then, I have I guess it's a website. I should update it. And
all
it's
should.
just Shalewa Sharpe, SHALEWA SHARPE .com. I'm paying for something, so it'll take you somewhere. But yeah, that's usually. I am sadly still on Twitter, and I do use its dead name. It's Mama named on Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter. I'm going down with that ship hard. I just love it so
Hell yeah.
much.
And you got some great albums that can be listened to on streaming services, right? I assume, right?
Yeah, I do. I forget about those all the
Okay.
time. I have an album called, my first album, Stay Eating Cookies, and my second album's called So You Just Out Here?
I think about Stay Eating Cookies all the time too. When I eat cookies, I think about the album title.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that weird? Anyway,
Now, Kyle Gordon, the potential masturbator, was the first. He would pour a glass of milk and then put the cookies in the milk.
no,
I don't know if
Just
that's worth
place
sharing,
it
but just
in
straight
the-
in there, yeah.
guy's
Like
a
it was a
freak.
life hack.
Yeah, no, this guy is too much.
I don't want to. He's a little dead in the eyes. But,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
gonna sue us when he hears this?
I hope you're doing well out there, buddy.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you to Shalewa Sharpe. Make sure you listen to her podcast, The War Report. Shalewa also performs all over the city. Check her out. Google her. Live your life. Dan, where can we find you online?
You can find me at Dan Wilbur Comedy on TikTok, Instagram. You can find me at Dan Wilbur on various other websites. And you can find me every single Wednesday with Zach Sims at Young Ethels in Park Slope.
Tonight you can be seen, I heard. There's a rumor.
That's
that
right.
If you're listening to it right when it downloads. But yeah.
I am on Don't Tell on Friday, the day that this airs. I believe that is the 22nd of August. If you are in Farmingdale or you're somewhere on Long Island and you want to see a great show, you can hit me up and I'll send you the link. And you should go to all those Don't Tells on Long Island if you're there because they're great shows. And so sign up for their mailing list. I'm plugging a thing
Wow.
that doesn't need to be plugged.
I wasn't expecting you to. Are they
I'm just
giving you
on
money?
a lot of them. Yes, I
Well,
mean they
I guess
pay me
so.
to do the
I guess-
shows.
I guess
So,
that's true.
Yeah, I'd love it if people came if they're hearing this and they're like, "Oh, I can't make it all the way to the city." And you know how we're just crushing it on Long Island. We're basically Howard Stern out here.
Mm-hmm.
So on this podcast. So please check me out. And I post about every show that we produce, and we'd love to see you live and in person.
I am on TikTok at Zach Sims Comedy, Instagram also Zach Sims. Come on to Young Ethel's every single Wednesday. It's a free show. What else are you doing with your lives? And until next week, see ya, hobbyholers.